Big Z Reviews. Antebellum was a movie that I was really looking forward to seeing from the trailers. It looked like a really cool, modern horror where maybe you weren't sure what exactly was going on, but maybe it seemed like a character was like going back in time and where slaves existed and they would think she was a slave. Or maybe it's something she was coming to terms with her history and like it was showing up in her life and she was like being haunted by it or something. And it's like, no, that's not what this movie is. This movie, the closest is torture porn about torturing black women. Yeah, that's what most of this movie is. Huh.
What are we doing? What is the plan?
The odd thing about this movie, though, is that if it's gonna do like the torture porn idea, there's almost not enough of that. Like, it's the worst is at like the beginning. Like, there's a lot like you start the movie and like you look like you're in the olden days, and there's this Janelle Monáe, the slave, and they try to escape, but now they brought back and they're killing the other people with her that escaped, and she's like the whole roots thing where what's your name? That's not your name. This this is your name. That she that all that stuff, and something about it just feels a little bit off. But you're like, oh well. And then it starts, the actual star of the movie, where Janelle Monáe is like she's like an author and she's like a pundit, and like she's like doing a news thing and talking like about how, and it's modern, and you think, okay, so, and it does have something like, how does this connect? And like, but you see, but the weirdest thing is when Gabourey Sidibe comes in, and she is honestly really funny and the only likable thing about this movie, but at the same time it's like something from a different movie, because it's like a girls trip sort of film, and it does girls trip for like 20 minutes, like right after being the slavery times. And it's like, this is like, what the kind of genre is this movie? What is this movie? And it feels so weird. And then of course they do the twist. And if you don't want to be spoiled, I'm going to spoil the idea of the film, or most of the film, just because there's no one else way to really talk about it. But and the funny thing is that it's not. I was expecting a twist, but I thought maybe it'd be a twist all the way to the end. But like a Shyamalan style twist. But the twist happens in the middle of the film when you realize, oh, they kidnapped her and now there's a bunch of racists that are recreating slave times and are wearing fake Renaissance fair with Civil War uniforms, and a whole bunch of people in there having all these black people as slaves. Oh, great. And it could be interesting. I think if they started that, if you started her like from that, I think it would have been better, like almost like Hostel. But having trying to trick you into thinking that is actual slave times is odd, and especially because like something of that is the whole idea of that. These people. I think if when they try to recreate this a Confederate dinner and all the black people are serving them. And it's like, I think some of the young people would be going like, Hell Hitler! They'd be doing their Proud Boys shit. Or they'd be doing something other than just Confederacy. But I mean, there is still a lot, the rebel flag and Confederacy in the South, but it's not just that. There's a lot of other racism sneaking in that instead of just that now, But it's just, the whole idea is just odd. Like, I think it's especially because when earlier on, like after they do a slave and then they do the modern time thing, they do weird things that the trailer used. The trailer sold something else, but those scenes are still in the movie. Like there's one creepy girl, looks like a ghost girl in the elevator, and it's like, but then you realize that okay, that's just this girl is just walking the hallway in this creepy gown. And it's like okay, and it's like all the stuff that's meant to I swear they made the film for the trailer. Like, it's so odd. And really, the idea of the film doesn't make sense because we're in the modern day. Like, it is tough to hide anything. I mean, there are drones, there's satellites, there's planes. Like, I don't think they ever could have hidden this slave farm. But I mean, I know my aunt and uncle live in kind of in the country, and they pretty much whenever anyone was selling land, he would buy it up. And now he got a lot of money from it because of the shale gas. But he a couple years ago, like deep in the woods, he built a cabin like on top of a hill, and like then the government came and said, hey, we need some taxes for that cabin, and and then so they had people flying around in a helicopter, I guess, looking for new buildings so they can tax it, you know? So they're gonna find this slave farm. And then even at the end, like, they tried to do this whole, like, epic scene where she's coming out, and there's, like, it's a reenactment area. Like, the slave farm is behind a Civil War reenactment site. But, like, it felt like almost that was supposed to be the Shyamalan twist, but then you look up and you see an airplane in the sky, and it's like, but the airplane would have been there before, too. Why are they just showing it now? And what does it really matter? And two, like, I was expecting a Get Out sort of thing, because the cops come, and, like, that's the end of the movie, but these are local cops. They aren't FBI. And there's a black woman covered in blood with a senator and a bunch of white people killed back on this slave farm. There's a non-zero chance that they may shoot her, you know. But they don't want to, think about that at all. And honestly, like, they kind of sold it as a horror, but it's not horror. Like, there's one jump scare, and it's a fake jump scare in the present day time when a carriage kind of almost runs them over. And I think that's also in the trailer. But, like, it's not scary. It's not that gory. I mean, they do the torture of the women, but that's more towards the beginning. There's not as much of it later. You know, and it's... something about it is just so odd. It's not well crafted. It's not well written. Janelle Monáe acts well. Like, I mean, the acting is okay. But, I mean, the actual story is so stupid. I'd probably give it, like, a 3 out of 10. But thanks for watching. Share the playlist on my head. Guys, I'm Z over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.